our life, to expand our existence and what is available to us. What is level 2 in expanding your consciousness? So level 1 is victim consciousness. Level 2 is the victor or the villain consciousness. While in level 1, life happens to you, in level 2, life happens either by you or for you. While in level 1, life happens at the level of effect. At level 2, it's at cause. So you're not just on the receiving end as a victim, you are on the creating end as a victor, where you take life and you make it work for you as it comes. You take responsibility. I spoke with a lady about this, and she asked me, how can I take responsibility for, say, a situation where, in this case, my husband just left me? Isn't that, am I not justified in calling myself a victim? Or when you are unwell, am I not justified in saying that I am a victim of this illness? Like, indeed, I am under the weather, I have a flu. But here's the thing, immediately you take on your sorry state, immediately you embrace your misery, you now enjoy the rewards of that level of consciousness. You find more reasons why things are not working out. While if you take on responsibility, you learn, you grow, you seek ways to avoid this loop from happening again. You expand who you are. That's why it's called expanding your consciousness. So level 2 is about taking charge. So yes, I am under the weather. How can I take charge of this? What do I need to change about my current situation? Yes, my landlord is difficult, in quotes, to deal with, so I can suffer under their reign. Or how do I take charge of my living circumstances? And as they say, if you don't like where you live, you are not a tree, you can move. That's level 2 behavior, where you decide, I am not going to keep complaining, I'm not going to keep blaming, I'm not going to keep living under the thumb. No, I take charge. So while in level 1, you just can't find a job. You can't find clients. Nobody is looking your way. And you can decide you are cursed, or your product is not good enough, or you are not good enough. So you're a victim of your inadequacy. While in level 2, you do the research, you do the legwork, you do the marketing, you do the networking, you do the classes that it needs. You borrow the money that you need. And yes, I know in level 1, you're like, nobody is there to give money. In level 2, you find them. You do what it takes to move you forward, without excuses, without blame, and without complaining. You get it done. And this is it. Whatever it takes. That is exactly the definition of expanding your consciousness. You see more. You see more than you would have seen as a victim. You think deeper than you'd have thought. You broaden your scope. You broaden your database. You broaden your capacity. You broaden your reach, and you take charge of the situation as it is. You put in the effort, you put in the work. That is what it means to be in level 2. You could take a course, for instance, but you don't use it. Now you're just a victim you're just a victim in the sense that you've lost some more money. You could go for networking, but you don't do the actual networking. I like the way one lady put it as, it's not net sitting, it's not net looking around, it's not net effort, it's net working. So you have a plan, you have a structure of follow-up, you are aligning yourself for what you want to accomplish. This is level 2 stuff. Level 2 says, be it as it may, this is my life, this is my career, this is my body, these are my thoughts. So I have full say over how and sway over how I will proceed. I take charge of my body. I take charge of my thoughts. I take charge of my family and how they affect me. I take charge of my environment and the circumstances with which I find myself. I either shift these circumstances or I shift myself. I take charge of where I live. As a neighborhood or as a country, I take charge. I will do 1, 2, 3. I will do, not I will say. I will do. I take charge of what I want to accomplish. I take charge of my lack of funds. I take charge of my ignorance. I take charge of my accent. I take charge of my weight. I take charge of my health. And this is what I'm going to do so that in the next 100 days, it will have shifted, and not by sheer luck, but by my doing. And that's level 2 for you. Level 2 is about taking charge, taking responsibility, operating life from cause, not from effect. Letting life work by you. Letting life work for you. Level 2, see you in level 3.